What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Coming to you today from Lake Sonoma for your Lake Sonoma report. Today is April 27th, 2022. I was able to get out here for a rare midweek excursion on the lake. One of the few boats that are out here today. Nice day weather-wise, a little chilly this morning. But windy, so the wind picked up. I seem to always pick these days when the wind's blowing 10 to 15 mile an hour out here on this lake. But getting up here in the creeks, it's really not too bad. You can get out of it. So as far as the lake goes, lake level, this last night when I checked it was at 405.55 foot elevation. That's up about 2 inches or so over the last week, 2 or 3 inches. The lake level, as far as the graph goes, is pretty steady. It's pretty flat, so not a whole lot of change over the last couple weeks, which is a good thing. It's up, like I said, up a little bit, but I think we're starting to see a little bit of a downturn where we'll start seeing the lake drop a bit because we haven't really had any rain in a week or so. Water temperature around the lake, I did start up in the Dry Creek arm. I ran up there in the end just to check that out, and water temperature was actually pretty cold up there. It was like 53.7, 53.8. Pretty cold for this time of year, but my experience is that Dry Creek arm generally heats up a lot later than the rest of the lake. As far as the creeks go, like Cherry Creek, Yorty Creek, or even Warm Springs, that tend to get a little warmer faster. Was up there only for about an hour because the water temperature was just so low. Came over to Cherry Creek and got up in the mid area of the lake, of the creek, and it was already like 58 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. Saw temperatures as high as like 53.2 or so. Right now it's just over 60, but I'm down towards the mouth of the creek in the little pocket, trying to get out of the wind. Hopefully it's not too loud here on the screen. Water temperature is pretty good in the creek. Haven't really been anywhere else in the lake, just stuck to Cherry Creek all day, fished up one side of the creek and almost to the end, up towards that first campground, and then all the way back down the other side. Bite overall has been pretty slow. I had a few bites or a few fish this morning on a swim bait, and I'll show you what I'm throwing here. It's kind of a pink pearlescent little swim bait. I don't remember who makes these because the label's not on the package, but it's a little kind of a fat body. I had to break the end off of this one, but a little fat body swim bait. Just on a little weighted hook, not much weight, and just kind of throwing it up against the bank and let it kind of float down. And those fish were coming in, 3 to 5 feet of water. Threw some Senkos, caught a few fish on a Senko, a couple of different colors. I think I was using kind of a goby color and then the monster shad color. As the wind picked up and got a little stronger, I put that weight in it in the wacky rig to get that bait down a little quicker so I can feel it. And the bite was kind of slow overall. I ended up switching to a drop shot just to see what I can do on a drop shot, and caught several fish on the drop shot up shallow. Here's another one. I'm using I think this is called baby bass color. This one's kind of chewed up, lost its tail. Green on top and white on the belly. These have a white tail on them. This one's gone, but what I was doing is I was taking my chartreuse dye marker and painting that tail yellow. I wanted it to look more like a bluegill than a bass, so that seemed to work pretty well in the drop shot. Again, those fish were kind of up shallow. Some of those I think were on beds because I'd throw into an area and I'd get bit, and then I'd throw right back to that same spot, and then I'd catch the fish. So I think those fish were on beds. Bite was pretty soft for the most part, and then later in the day I was just kind of coming down out of the creek, throwing a Mr. B spinnerbait, and that one's right here, double willow leaf. Got a Yamamoto grub on there, a little green on it, kind of a shad color, and just kind of parallel on the bank throwing this and just slow rolling it. down the shoreline and caught a couple fish on the spinner bait. So that was kind of nice. And then when they hit that, they really hammered it. Same with the swim bait. They kind of hammered the swim bait this morning. So again, not a lot of fish, but a little slow today, maybe having to do with the weather. The moon phase, I think we're kind of towards the tail end of the moon. There's a very little sliver this morning that I noticed when I left the house. I think weather, I think we're probably up in the low 70s today. Finally warmed up. Finally took off my sweatshirt, but the wind's been kind of keeping it cold. The main lake is still in the kind of the mid 50s. When I launched the boat up the boat ramp, I think it was around 58. So that's actually warmed up a little bit at the boat ramp. So I think that's about it for today. Getting about 3:30 in the afternoon, so I'll probably call it a day pretty soon. I'm just gonna kind of work my way out of the creek with the spinner bait and see what happens. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button as always. Help me build the channel. Appreciate all the information and the comments I've been getting. I did get a comment back recently from a guy. I think his last name was Wesley. I forget his first name. Sorry about that. But he asked if I can do a kind of a breakdown on the lake as far as how I prepare for the different conditions. So I'll do something on that pretty soon. Putting a lot of thought on that. It's kind of a tough question. It's a great question, but it's kind of tough to answer. The simple answer is it really depends on the time of year. If it's, like right now, springtime, so I'm really kind of geared at fishing up in the creeks and looking for bedfish. In the wintertime, I'm mostly fishing the main lake areas, main lake points, rocky points, stuff like that. Fishing a lot deeper than now, fishing pretty shallow, 0 to 10 feet at the most, really. But I'll do something on that probably coming up in the near future. Put together my thoughts on it. Like I said, it's not an easy subject, and there's a lot of variables that go into that as far as how I approach the lake and the different areas of the lake, and really kind of depends on that time of year. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all later, and again, hit that like and subscribe button, and have a good week.